Well, hello friends of Barça Hoy. Welcome to this new video. La Liga is back, Barça is back, and we're going to analyze this Saturday's match between Barcelona and Girona. Match day number 9 is here, and we're here at Barça. Today we have the latest updates and a review of each team's approach to the match. That's why I'm asking you to stay until the end. Don't leave, don't change the channel. Stay with us so you can see how they're coming. What momentum do Barça and Girona have? Which players are available or out, and what's the starting lineup? The potential lineup could be the one chosen by Hansi Flick, and also, of course, Michel, the coach of Girona, for this great match that Barça Hoy will broadcast live, starting at least an hour and a half before with the pre-game coverage. This coming Saturday, remember, at 4:15 in the afternoon, a match that's already scheduled on the Barça Hoy YouTube channel. Give it a like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. What do you think of this awesome video? Don't leave, I'll be waiting for you. In the end, we start analyzing how Barça is coming into this. Is Hansi Flick's team coming back after the international break? A break, folks, that I would say has been pretty dramatic. First of all, with those issues that kept Lamine Yamal away from the Spanish national team due to pubalgia. Lamine Yamal, who fortunately has already returned to training and seems to be available and doing quite well, will be medically cleared in the next few hours. But it must be said that Barça has had two important absences during this international break. The first was Dani Olmo, the player from Terrassa. I'm going to show you here the player from Terrassa. Here are the injured players. The one from Terrassa, who obviously played in Spain, well, trained with Spain, and ended up injured and had to return to Barcelona. Therefore, Dani Olmo will miss the match against Girona, the one against Olympiacos, and of course the classic against Real Madrid. So Dani Olmo will be out for a long period, initially until the beginning of November. We also need to mention another major absence, this man. It's Robert Lewandowski, who is injured in the femoral biceps of his left leg. With the Polish national team as well, he arrived in Barcelona with discomfort. So it looks like he's also gonna miss out. Girona, Olympiacos, and Real Madrid. These are two very important absences for Hansi Flick's team, who is also keeping an eye on Fermin Lopez's recovery, as he's already training like a bull, alongside Lamine Yamal. Therefore, to recap a little, Lamine, Yamal and Fermin will be ready for the Girona match, if all goes well. In these last hours before the match, they will be cleared to play. But on the other hand, Dani Olmo and Lewandowski are out. They're 100% unavailable. There's another man who's also out, and it's a very important absence, which is Mr. Rafinha, who apparently will also miss the match. Girona and Olympiacos. Or could it be that if he's okay for Tuesday, he might get a few minutes and then be available for Real Madrid? But in principle, Rafinha taking it slow and steady. He's also a player who's out of form, and therefore he's not available for this match against Girona. Ferran also had some discomfort with the national team, which I haven't mentioned, but since it turned out to be just a scare, I didn't want to give it too much importance. But it's true that even now, he didn't train with the team on Wednesday, and today is Thursday. I think he will train with the team now. Let's hope he joins the group. But has he been in the gym recovering from that hamstring overload? Therefore, Ferran is likely to be available against Girona. We'll see if he starts or not. But in principle, he wouldn't be out, so he wouldn't be unavailable. On the other hand, as I said, he's 100% ruled out. John Garcia, who is still out. Gabi, with his knee also out until around February. And Ter Stegen, who is also continuing his recovery. Therefore, important absences for Hansi Flick's Barça. Hansi Flick's Barça that is coming. Before the break, they lost 4-1 against Sevilla, a tough defeat at the Pizjuan, and also lost at home in the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain. Therefore, Barça is in a somewhat negative dynamic, coming in with 2 defeats, one very tough against Sevilla 4-1, and another, well, a fair one against Paris Saint-Germain 1-2. Previously, we won 2-1 against Real Sociedad, 3-1 against Oviedo, and 3-0 against Getafe. Let me remind you, it's at 4:15 Spanish time, very early. Latin American and United States viewers must wake up early to watch Barça versus Girona on Barça Hoy, featuring top commentary online. On Tuesday, we'll have Olympiacos, and just so you know, I'll be in Barcelona. There will be exclusive footage of the match, and on Sunday, Madrid versus Barça. So don't miss it. Here's what we have at Camp Barça, but what about Girona? Well, Michel's team, which comes from beating Valencia 2-1, drawing 0-0 with Espanyol, drawing 1-1 with Athletic Club de Bilbao, losing 0-4 to Levante, and drawing with Celta. An inconsistent Girona, with many draws, 1 win and 1 loss, reaches the lower part of the table, with Michel's team suffering from important absences. Alejandro Frances and Ivan Martin are suspended, while Juan Carlos Martin, goalkeeper David Lopez, Van de Beek, and Abel Ruiz, who is experiencing discomfort, are all injured. We'll see if he makes it or not. Kof Unagi and John Solis will continue. All these last ones are doubtful for the match. A match that the fantasy people line up with this possible team. It's a potential 11 that the fantasy people give for Barça. And for Girona? For Barça, they are betting on Chessy, in goal, Koundé, Cubarsier, and Garcia Valde, Frenkie, Pedri, Fermin, Lamine Jamal, Marco Rashford, and Ferran Torres. Strong Barça team. Let's build it together. Stay here. Together we create Barca's starting 11. For Girona, Katzaniga would be in goal with Ano, Victor Rice, and Dalai Blim. With Rincon, Alex Moreno, Wixel, John Solist, Brian Hill, Roca, and Banat. This is the Barça and Girona lineup that the fantasy people are putting together. But family, let's get to the point. I like to make my own 11. The potential lineup we're going to build right away. There's no doubt about the goalkeeper, Wout Chesney, to defend Barca's goal. On the left, Alejandro Valde. There would be no doubt about that. On the right, although Koundé has been in the gym recovering because he arrived at the last minute, with the French national team, is he expected to start? I think Koundé will be there, although I wouldn't rule out Eric Garcia playing on the right either. It wouldn't be crazy, but logically Koundé should be the starter. So we would have Chesney and Koundé. Valde, and I think since they've been resting this week because they didn't go with the national team, Araujo will be a starter, and I think Eric Garcia will join him. So that's how Barca's defense will look. Valde, Eric, Araujo, Koundé, and Chesney in goal. Double pivot. Frenkie and Pedri are available in principle, though they've already played minutes with their national teams. I think one of the two will rest. I lean towards Frenkie as a substitute, so I'll put Pedri in the starting lineup. We'll put Pedri in the starting lineup, and here on the right, I'll place Mr. Marc Casado. I'm going to start Casado against Girona. And in the attacking midfield position, obviously, there's also some doubt. Danny, we've ruled him out, obviously. Dro can play. Tony Fernandez from the Youth Academy can play. Fermin, who's recovered, can also play. Or maybe some trick that Hansi comes up with for this match. But it's hard to get it right. Even Marc Fernandez Bernal, too. Even Marc Bernal could also start in midfield as a starter. But I think it gains a lot of ground. Because I've seen Mr. Fermin Lopez looking very good in training. Even though he's coming back from an injury, he's looked very good in training. I think Barca will start with Pedri, Fermin, and Casado. On the left, I think we'll see Marco Rashford. We'll see Marco Rashford, who's also in great form right now. On the right, I think Lamine Jamal will start. I believe Lamine Jamal is going to play from the beginning. And up front, I'm going to put Ferran, who I also think will play. Fermin and Lamine Jamal will rest in the second half. Pedri will rest after playing with the national team, as did Marco Rashford. Bargi and possibly Tony Fernandez will join, and a youth player may be a last-minute addition to the squad. Therefore, this is my potential starting 11 for the match. What do you think? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Let me know in the comments. Give it a like and subscribe. See you on Saturday at the big Barca-Girona match on Barca Today. Barca yesterday, Barca today, Barca always. Bye, bye, bye.